Hi friends, we are back. We are just continuing our reading of Marcy and the Riddle of the Sphinx. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, click on that link, okay? So as we were, Marcy had to act quickly. Do you see her? Hopping, all the way to the sunboat? Wow. She is courageous and adventurous. At the ship's helm, Marcy could see the god Ra. But first, she would have to remain unnoticed by the boat's crew of gods. Remember I told you how we'd meet and be introduced to other gods and goddesses in this book? This is the page where we do. Anubis, god of the afterlife. Isis, goddess of nature and magic. And Bast, goddess of cats. See if you can spot her trying to hide and get unnoticed and become unnoticed as she's walking through the ship. And all the different gods and goddesses. And for anybody who has more knowledge than I do about Egyptian culture, I might be pronouncing these names wrong, and I apologize for that. With Ra in sight, Marcy came up with a plan to get his eye. But as she readied herself for the jump, she realized she couldn't steal someone else's eye. For all she knew, Ra could be a very nice god. She bravely climbed down the rigging and walked slowly up behind him. She was very small, so she had to clear her throat as she gave a big tug on his cape. Doesn't it kind of look like Ra already knows she's there? And I love that Marcy does this. She's on her way to make a decision that's probably not the best decision for a lot of people involved, and then she thinks about it just one more time and she decides to change her mind. Sometimes when you're making decisions, it's okay to change your mind right before you make the decision, or in the middle of it if you think it's going to be better and will hurt people less if you take a different path, just like Marcy. Ra was intrigued by the little human who had found her way onto a sunboat. He listened to her story before speaking. "Thank you for your honesty. Thoth is always plotting to steal my moon eye. If Thoth were ever to get hold of it, he would become unspeakably powerful and plunge the whole world into evil. As a reward for your service, I will help you free your father." Marcy was right. Ra was a good god. "My boat will take us to the Sphinx, the goddess of the night sky. None will show us the way by shining a path in the stars," said Ra. Do you see the goddess? How gorgeous. As Ra's ship reached the Sphinx, an anchor dropped down. Just before Marcy went to climb down, Ra knelt before her. "Here, take my left eye. Its light will guide you and cut through the darkest shadows. Good luck." Marcy was filled with excitement. Maybe she was a real brownstone after all? The Sphinx loomed up ahead. As she approached, it spoke its riddle. "I am bright when it's dark and dark when it's bright. I am the shepherd of the night." Who am I? Who do you think he's referencing? Try and figure out this riddle yourself. Who is bright in the dark and dark when it's bright, and shepherds people in the night? Marcy had never heard of a night shepherd before. What could it possibly mean? She thought and she thought some more, but she couldn't think of the answer. And then she had a sudden idea. What was only at its brightest in the dark? The stars. And shepherds guide things. Of course! The North Star. Just like Arthur had mentioned earlier in the book. Wow! The Sphinx's mouth opened to reveal a set of steps. They led down into a deep, dark cave. Marcy trembled with fear, but she knew this was the only way to save her father. As she descended into the belly of the Sphinx, it got darker and darker. Ooh, scary. When Marcy finally found Arthur, he was too busy with the huge snake to hear her shouts. She didn't have time to think. She had to do something. Clutching the eye of Ra in her hand, she vaulted straight into the snake's mouth. In that moment, Arthur realized the book would not help Marcy. She had already overcome her fear. He dropped it, and they escaped together. I'm so glad that they could escape the snake. Outside the Sphinx, a shadowy figure was waiting for them, and an evil voice boomed. "Where do you think you're going with that eye, little girl? We had a deal. Ra's eye is mine." Marcy tried to tell Thoth it was the wrong eye, but it was too late. As he took the eye, there was a flash of white, a crack of thunder, and then silence. All that was left of Thoth was a tiny bird and Ra's magic eye. Ra appeared and picked up his eye, placing the tiny bird on his shoulder. "He will grow again and try to steal my moon eye. But for now, he's harmless." Together they all climbed up onto Ra's sunboat and prepared for home. Nut guided the sunboat by shining the North Star as brightly as she could. When they were finally home, Marcy couldn't wait to tell her parents every single detail about her adventure in the land of Egypt. And when it was time for Marcy to go to sleep, for the first time, she didn't feel scared at all. What an adventure! Marcy realized that no matter how scary the dark was, even if it was filled with monsters, she was more than brave enough to fight them. And I hope one day you too will be able to conquer your fears, no matter how big and scary or small and silly that fear is. The end. I love this. This is Marcy actually meeting Arthur's sweet friend that she was too scared to meet earlier because of the dark. This is my wish for you guys. I hope that no matter what is going on in your life that is scary or hard, that you are able to find courage just like Marcy does, to know that you're going to be all right. Thank you for joining us, and if you guys want to see other videos, we will have more posted in this playlist that you can see. I'm so glad that you guys stayed here. If you like any of the style of illustration in here, he has 2 other books. I don't have Arthur and the Golden Rope with me. I do have Kai and the Monkey King. So these are some things that you guys could check out in the Lawrence Public Library and the picture books for older sections too. Okay? Well, take care, you guys. It is so good to have read to you all. Happy World Read Aloud Day. Bye!